was saying that, you know, in conversation with his friends, his boys, he's found that a lot of women don't know how to keep a man.
Oh.
And obviously...
Talking about our partners, and I think there's this element of you're almost not even allowed to bring these conversations to your partner. Whatever. This is why these conversations stay amongst the boys.
But actually, there's plights on both sides that if we actually just sat down and listened to one another, it would be a lot more productive. You know, speaking of, you know, love and fall in love again, there was something I saw on Twitter the other day. Someone was saying that, you know, in conversation with his friends, his boys, he's found that a lot of women don't know how to keep a man.
Oh.
And obviously... And obviously that was like a doom, you know, there was like the Nollywood awkward music. And he basically was, you know, probed a bit further, and somebody said, okay, which instances? And, you know, he basically went on to say, bedroom, childcare.
Childcare, that's cap.
And housework or something like that. I think he started it off well, but then the misogyny took over.
Yeah.
In the sense of these are things that, you know, we expect women to do. Like, okay, the bedroom, okay, that's a man and woman thing. But then the housework and the childcare. I think when the woman was asking him, she was asking him genuinely, and she wanted to find out, you know, what are the things that we can do better. And I think a lot of women, including myself, was expecting him to say things like, you know, no support, like, you know, just things outside of misogyny. I think, you get what I mean? And then he kind of ruined it, I think. But I think he started off a good discussion in terms of...
Yeah, this is difficult because these are conversations that I'd never thought I'd hear outside of the mandem.
Outside of the group chat.
There's certain things I see on Twitter, right? And I say to myself, like, I laugh because I'm like, yo, we've been talking about these for years amongst boys. And I never thought I'd hear this anywhere else. Like, I didn't think a single one of my lady friends even knew these convos. Like, I remember the first time I saw the birthday makeup convo on Twitter. And I thought, this is what
the eyeshadow and the blonde wig.
And the gold makeup and whatever.
Gold makeup.
Boys speak about this amongst themselves for years, and there's probably things girls speak about privately as well.
I think sometimes we are more comfortable bringing it to
because
like Twitter spaces and stuff.
With guys, you're less likely to do it. I think there's even like an unwritten rule of like a protection of the emotions, because especially a lot of these topics we're talking about people close to us. The birthday makeup, we're talking about our lady friends. You know what I'm saying? Our partners. The whole thing about quote unquote keeping a man. We're talking about our partners, and I think there's this element of you're almost not even allowed to bring these conversations to your partner. Whatever. This is why these conversations stay amongst the boys. So I think sometimes when I do hear that these conversations are just on Twitter, I'm a bit baffled because I'm like, yo, the rule book. The rule. But I think on that topic of like the domestication or I don't know if that's the right term. Domestic labor and whatever. Again, I speak for my guys. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't speak for them. This doesn't even represent a percentage of men, black men or whatever in the UK, let alone London. It's just my friends. Do you know what I'm saying? My friends are all housework and all that. Do you know what I'm saying? They're 100% in. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how a lot of us were raised as first generation. Do you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, dishes and cooking and whatever, that's not a big deal. Like none of my boys are like, yo, I get a missus, she has to do it. None of that.
Get in the kitchen.
I think a lot of us have experienced, I've experienced it. I can't think of a single one of my, I can't think of a single one of my friends that hasn't experienced it, where you experience dating ladies who have this belief that their existence is enough. And don't get me wrong, it's enough for you to be yourself. But I think when you're with someone or seeing someone, there is an element of effort that you have to put in. And that's
on both sides.
You know what I'm saying? And I do think me and my friend had this interesting convo where we was trying to take it away from gender and put it onto sport. And saying maybe there's a correlation with the ladies that we've dated and not being involved in things like team sports and sports growing up. Maybe, I don't know. And vice versa. There's loads of guys out there that are freeloading in relationships. Like my lady friends tell me,
like they're the ones paying the bills.
Yeah. My lady friends tell me the guys that I say they're coming to stay around once and they're there for 2 months.
Yeah. Oof.
Do you know what I'm saying? Don't do no housework.
Like the uncle that will not go home.
Yeah. So this is definitely not a woman thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? This is definitely across the board.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tried to think about maybe there's a correlation with, I don't know, maybe certain things like not being involved in team sports or certain things, because I guess I remember growing up playing football and you couldn't say, oh, you know, but I'm a player.
I see where you're going with this, in the sense of everyone plays a role.
Yeah, and you have to.
Yeah.
If I mess up at football, I can't go home, come back and say, yeah, but I was happy. I have to go home, get better, come back, and it's not personal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's not a deep thing. Like, for instance, I've been in relationships where a girl has told me, you're not pulling your weight with this, whatever. Okay. And unless, of course, it gets like irrational. Yeah. My thing is like, okay, cool. How can I be a better partner? I think that's an interesting thing. Like a question that my partner and I usually ask. Like, how can we do better? Do you know what I'm saying? And of course, you have to be reasonable as well. So it can't just be, what more can I do? It's also, where can you meet me? Do you get what I'm saying? So for instance, I'm not gonna, if my missus says to me, where can I do better? If I think the answer is something that I could also contribute to, there may not be an answer. You're good. Do you know what I'm saying? If anything, I need to accept this better.
I totally agree with this team sport thing that that analogy. That's so interesting. But also, I think a lot of us, like, I did a video recently, 5 lessons in love, things I've learned in my relationship so far. And, you know, one of the first things that I said was, was it number 4? It was like, women, you should make an effort as well. I think a lot of us are, unfortunately, patriarchy princesses. It's like, it's half and half. It's not necessarily our fault, but I think we do need to have these conversations where we begin to take accountability and we begin to change. I would say that very early on in my relationship, I wouldn't say I made an effort in terms of things like date nights. Definitely, like, you know, in the typical like women roles, you know, cooking and the cleaning and all of that. I wouldn't say that that's my only role, and so being a support system. But there were things I believed were for the guy to do. So for example, like planning dates and, you know, always making me feel special. In those kind of elaborate ways. And then eventually I realized that actually, no, Mo, you can actually make an effort as well. And that's obviously through conversation. So I think a lot of what the pushback he got as well was that, why do men not say this to their significant others?
You can't.
And yes, you can. My partner did. And
yeah. In a relationship I'm in, you can. Yeah. But especially the ladies were referring to, you can't.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like I always emphasize on my channel, I think patriarchy has done a huge number on men and women. I think, you know, it puts an immense and unnecessary amount of pressure on men. Yeah. And, you know, in many cases oppresses women. Yeah. Because, you know, in a modern society, like I spoke with Adela about, you know, finances in the home. And some of us or some women are still expecting men to carry the burden of that. Yeah. Especially in the foundational stages where you're both young, you've both just started graduate jobs.
I see 16-year-olds talking about the man needs to pay for everything. I'm like,
you see what I mean? Like, it's like these are unrealistic expectations on the woman's side as well, because of, you know, typical gender roles. We're saying, oh, she must be the one to look after the baby. She must be the one to look after It's like, when are we going to realize that we're just meant to be here to mutually support and serve one another?
Look, the most important thing is the end goal. I think that's something that me and my partner are very good at. Yeah. Is that the end goal matters more than how it looks. So our thing is, we'll make this work and contribute to it in the most healthy way possible. Yeah. And because we're both very like sacrificial people, like in terms of like what I'm very much towards her, like, you know, I'll do what it takes to support you, and she's the same, vice versa. You end up with a balanced outcome. Yeah. And I think one of the most beautiful things, I'll give you like a weird metaphorical example, is when I look around, like, you know what I'm saying, the living space or whatever, I'll be like, right, that corner's her. It's got her imprint. That corner's me. That's got my imprint. We've built this together. Yeah. And it means so much more. I think, again, some of the guys, the reason you can't say a lot of these things, a lot of the language I see, again, I can only speak for what I see on social media and what I hear from, you know, my lady friends or whatever. Yeah. A lot of the languages you're not allowed when speaking about the feelings of something. Yeah. So, again, I'm not saying this is all ladies. It's not at all. Probably it's not even close. But a lot of the languages say for instance, a guy will come online. I don't think guys should be going online and say anything, but that's just me. Do you know what I'm saying? Say for instance, a guy will say something. The response will be, "You're not allowed to say that. Who are you to say that?" Blah 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 blah. So I think the premise or the belief is you're almost meant to do everything you can to ensure the emotions are never triggered when you're speaking to.
And then ultimately, it silences you.
Yeah.
You know, when you feel like you can't express yourself without someone, you know.
And ladies probably go through it as well.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I think for different things. Like, I think sometimes because of, you know, I'm a woman, I'm like, oh, men do this. Yeah. And because you're a guy, you might be like, oh, women do this. Yeah. But actually, there's plights on both sides that if we actually just sat down and listened to one another, it would be a lot more productive. And like feelings aside for a second, hear what this person is actually trying to say to you. And I think, like you were saying, that's what a lot of men feel like they can't expect. So a lot of women were saying to him, why don't you say this to your partner? A lot of men were saying, no, you can't. So does that suggest maybe pick a better partner?
No, I think I've heard people say that as well, but sometimes the nicest people end up being the most sensitive. So it's not something you can necessarily judge from the off. Like sometimes you might, I get why people say that or why they think that.
Yeah.
I'll be real, like I've said this all the time. I got lucky.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm lucky.
The partner that I've got,
I'm lucky.
I could say any of this stuff at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. And
it's not an issue. And I think that's something that sort of, as a guy, we love that because we have that with our friends. I think someone made a point the other day of a lot of times with guys, it was a lady that made this point on Twitter, I remember. And I don't agree with the point like in detail, but the premise, I get what she was saying. So she said
that word, premise.
She said there's a lot. She said there's a lot of situations where ladies don't understand that they're trying to force their partner to love them, whereas they like their friends because of the freedom. Whereas the love that you're selling comes with all these rules and instructions. Yeah. So a lot of guys are on this, okay, cool, 2 plus 2.
Of course, boundaries are important. Of course. Expressing your needs are important. But, I'm guessing you mean like when it's very restrictive and
what I mean
there's no freedom to be yourself. Oh, sorry, go on. Tell us what you mean.
So even for instance, yourself as a lady, right? There's that freedom amongst your friends where I know, for instance, with my boys, whatever, there isn't, and of course, this is natural because these are different types of romances and different types of relationships. These things shouldn't be the same. Do you know what I'm saying? But I know with my friends, I could pick up my phone after 7 months, call my boy and say, yo, where you at? And it's not an awkward convo.
Yeah. A lot of women have those friendships as well, but I do think there are women that take that personally. Like, maybe it's not a gender thing. Maybe it's just because
it's not a gender thing
proximity.
At all.
Some people do take it personally when you're not in close contact. There are some of my homies that I don't speak to all the time, and you know,
most of my friends.
It's a link. It's a it's a celebration every time.
Yeah.
It's still like the same vibe, still the same love. Like my friend Fee, my best friend from Nigeria. Like we were split up when we were 10 years old. She went to America. I came here, and like we see each other like once in a blue moon. Yeah. But it's still like. The love,
it's a blessing. But I think my point being is like to have that sort of connection where you still like them like a friend.
That's gold.
It's so important. It's not something you can make someone do. Like I know that there'll be relationships where a guy or a girl will say to the other one, oh, but you're meant to talk to me more. Oh, you're meant to want to do this with me. You're meant to da. But that friendship love that you have on top of the romance love, I've got that with my partner. You know what I'm saying?
And agape?
No, agape is unconditional love.
Oh, is it there's philo or something? Starts with a PH.
Yeah, I think that one is friendship love. Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? I need to get into my anthology my anthology. My biblics.
Theology.
But yeah, my point being is like, there's a lot of times you don't realize how. Because the more emotions are invested into a situation, the more sensitive you see someone being. That's why a lot of people get into relationships with people, and you know people use terminology like, "Oh, she's just like the man them." 6 months later, she's not like the man them, and that's not her fault, at all. Men and women, again, this is definitely not like a women problem. Like, there's a lot of ladies out there that I wouldn't say to them, "Oh, learn to pick a better partner with certain things," because you can't predict who he's going to be when emotions are involved. Okay. And that's the scary lotto draw. That's the scary lotto draw with relationships. I remember saying on True Talks, you were there, everyone was there when I said, and I remember at first, no one really got what I was saying. I said, I can't be with someone until I see them in conflict.
Oh yeah, when they're angry and stuff.
Yeah, and I remember people being like, "Oh, but what? Like, how's it gonna happen?" I'm like, I don't know how. I don't care how.
Yeah.
I need to see it because how you are in conflict is super important for me.
Yeah.
Super important. And you can be the best person in the world until you're actually enraged or emotions hit you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then I don't like this person.
Yeah, and that's not to say getting upset is a bad thing. It's how you handle those emotions.
Of course. But
yeah, I really wanted to wrap up this conversation. We're really going in and getting this because a lot of editing for me.
This is why this is the greatest show in the world, man. I just feel like I'm on the phone to someone.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you. Have you got a dimple?
Sometimes it comes out.
The right cheek.
This one, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's right.
This one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it comes out. I think it's when I'm like, big smile.
Okay.
Yeah. Before I fall in love again, we can't wait for it to drop. And when is it dropping? On the 6th of... 6th. Whiffed it. And they... I always say I have a slight lisp. It comes out every now and again.
Do you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Go on. What date does it come out?
August the 6th.
6th. That's what I was trying to say.
It's a weird word, isn't it? 6th.
Yeah, 6th.
6th.
6th. I think it's when you think about it.
August the 6th.
August the 6th.
6th of August. 6th of August?
Why is it? Where's it so hard all of a sudden?
6th.
6th
of August.
No, it's not.
5th of...
You guys know what we're talking.
My sister's got a lisp.
But by the time this drops, it will be out the following day.
Yeah.
Right?
God willing.
Yeah, midnight.
Yeah.
Literally in like
God willing.
4 hours. Amen.
Pre-order that, please. I'm begging you, man.
Yeah. So where do they pre-order? Tell them where to
just
find
iTunes, all that good stuff, Spotify, Before I Fall in Love Again. NEGO True, that's NEGOTRUE. Obviously separate names.
On all platforms.
Follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get to 10,000 so I can do the swipe up thing, so I can do the... you know what I'm saying? I want to start doing swipe ups. Follow me, please. I'm begging.
It sounds like a plan. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Have you got something that you want to, just drop for us?
When you broke down your past to me, the number of past partners isn't what set off alarms for me. It was the fact that over years, there wasn't a single gap that parted partners, links, and guys that you would see. You were a revolving door of relationships. You're not savage. You're just emotionally damaged. I don't say that to take the piss, but suddenly it started making sense for real. You weren't in love with me. You were in love with the gap that you could fill. You were in love with how you wanted love to feel. You were in love with the idea of love, the one that could cover your insecurities up. I pray you learn to find peace in your own company, but only fall in love with the one that you need. I don't think you're looking for the right person to love. In fact, sometimes it feels like you're looking for someone to love you back. You're not savage. You're just emotionally damaged. I'll leave the rest for the album.
Woo! You don't like clicks, do you?
No.
Yeah, what do you want your audience to do though?
Like they clap when they come to my shows. We don't do no
at the
clicking.
end or in the middle?
They clap whenever they make noise, everything, man. My shows are rock shows.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Nego, for coming through. Definitely do follow him. Pre-order the album Before I Fall in Love Again, and definitely go and buy it as well once it's out. Stream that. Support creatives. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. Do like if you liked it, share with your friends, comment below on the things we spoke about, and subscribe to this channel for more. Until next time, guys, peace and love.
Peace and chunks.
You know that you. Thank you so much.
My G.
Thank you.